Hello, everyone. Jose J. Garcia with Garcia Home University here. Special guest here today with us. He is a virtual sales consultant. He is a best-selling author, an entrepreneur, investor, all-around businessman. Ray Gomes, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, absolutely. Ray, do you speak Spanish? I've been meaning to ask you. Maybe I already asked you that.
No, unfortunately, I did take Spanish in high school, but I haven't practicing it. So, but I could pick up a little bit on listening, but as far as speaking it, no.
Well, I was sitting there looking at your name, and I was like, "That's not a Z typical." I was more Spanish, so I didn't know if Spanish was actually within Spanish speaking. So interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
so
ironically, there's a story behind it. So what I found out is that if it is with Z, you're Hispanic. If it's with an S, you're Portuguese. So I do have a little bit Portuguese background coming from Malaysia, so that's why it's spelled with an S.
okay, okay. Interesting. So, Ray, we've talked in the past. We've actually tried to structure deals before. We'll talk about some of that. And of course, we share the same platform, same coaching, entrepreneurs, that sort of thing. But people that don't know you, tell us about you.
Yeah, so I moved here from Malaysia when I was 15 years old. So kind of spent 15 years in Malaysia, 18 years now in the United States. Most of you heard my story, read my book. For those of you who don't know, I came from a very hard background. Parents divorced when I was 3, and then grew up in a very hard life. I was being bullied, physically bullied, verbally, throughout my life until I was like 18, 19, pretty much. Where I decided to take my own route and kind of be that entrepreneur stage. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. It's funny how I was always made fun of, but I guess that's what every entrepreneur gets, right? You're doing what, security, income, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I became an entrepreneur. I was very, very fortunate. At the age of 19, I was in a car accident. I knew something was wrong, but the doctors couldn't figure out. But I lost my chance to play soccer in university, and also lost 4 jobs that I was working at the time.
Wow.
So for 6 months, I was emotionally paralyzed, laying in bed in a dark room, because I had concussions and stuff. So it was very miserable. And I saw my grandfather who went through stroke. He was a very hardworking man, but he sort of um, really took a toll on him to where he was just laying in bed. And I just like, I'm 19 years old. I don't want to be laying in bed for the rest of my life. So started doing my own push-ups, sit-ups, starting to
Mhm.
crawl again before I could walk. But I was very fortunate after a year, Cutco Cutlery gave me an opportunity. And I think that's where I really learned how to sell, because we had to do door to door. When I started with Cutco, it's
Old
funny.
fashioned.
Yeah, when I started with Cutco, we had to buy a sample kit, and I had $150 in my credit card. I had $1 in my bank account, and I had to use that last dollar to fill a full tank of gas just to go to this interview. And then I was literally like, at that time we call it fake it till you make it, right? So I was acting like, I'm the shit, like hire me, I'll do it. At the back of my mind, I'm going like, I'm from Malaysia, I don't know anyone here. I was a very, very shy kid, never like go out, talk to people, nothing. Like if you say, where's Ray Gomez? Ray Gomez will be hiding under the table, like, please don't talk to me. That was me, right? So, anyways, I remember my dance studio owner. I got into ballroom dancing at a very early age, and he said, "Okay, I'll give you an opportunity. You're starting out, meet all of my clients, and kind of build from there." Uh, I was not the best salesperson. I struggled a lot. Matter of fact, I went 2 months without selling anything, no income. Um, my mom didn't support me at the time, so I had to leave home. I had to make a choice. So I packed my suitcase, live in the car for a while, and sold Cutco. And then, ironically, 6 months later, I became a manager. And then, fast forward 8 years later, I went on to coach over 5,000 plus college students on entrepreneurial skills. So I left the company in a little bit, worked for Dell Technologies, sold software for Microsoft, did really well. And then I just realized that Cutco was my home. I get to meet new people. I don't have to stay in a cubicle. I get to work with students a lot. And so I decided to come back. When I decided to come back, it was very nerve-wracking. Took me a year. But thanks to, as we all know here, Uncle Polly was like, come over to my home. I'll teach you real estate investing. But he said, look, you need to go back and find confidence. Go back selling Cutco. And I was like, okay. 24 hours later, we moved to Florida.
Wow.
And then kind of didn't know anyone. I wanted to go back to my roots. Prior in 2018, I had another coaching program, and I got screwed over $60,000.
Oh,
And Uncle Paulie pretty much saved me, and he said, if you do whatever you take, I'll introduce you to JT, and then we'll take you to the next level. So very thankful for JT and Paulie for picking me up when I literally had nothing. So prior to that, I did attempt suicide, stuff like that. Doc, I lost everything, car stolen, bank account wiped out. Had to file for bankrupt when I was 25 years old with hospital bills. But JT and Paulie turned my life around, and this is why I owe them a lot. Very respectful to them. And after a year getting coaching with JT, I'm the #1 Cutco representative in the country right now. In the country, never thought I would be here. So that's kind of like a little bit synopsis on where I am as far as entrepreneur right now. So
I feel like I need a keyboard and a word because I should be taking notes right here. All this is great stuff. And for those of you listening in, he's mentioning JT and Paulie. JT Fox is the #1 wealth and business coach, also a mentor coach of myself. And then Paulie, of course, more so his real estate business partner in a sense, but great people, absolutely. And like you, they've done, I would not be here or where I'm at without them. So they're definitely huge. But you mentioned quite a bit on here, quite a lot that we could really make a whole video on just this right here. But
yeah.
underdog for sure. And I agree. I think the most investors that come in and make it to, they all have a background of struggles, to say the least.
Yep.
Struggles of many that they have to overcome. So, you cannot be successful with anything without those hardships. But you definitely have quite a story there. And then being, would you say 6 months? Was that 6 months or?
Yeah, 6 months, literally laying in bed, dark
Hair, I
room.
mean, shut
It
down.
was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, ironically, not to say like with the pandemic, it didn't bother me much because I already kind of been there. And one of the advances that I had was working with Dell Technologies. We were already practicing working from home twice a week, virtually, and I had more productive working from home than actually in office. Right? I went on to do 3.5 million in a year in sales, working virtually. So I already
was
knew
that
it
part of
was
the
going.
introvert in you? Just kind of kept yourself. You were away from the office. Just leave me alone. Let me do my duty. You were able to do more sales that
Well,
way.
I wouldn't say that way. I would say that up to maybe since getting coaching from JT that I've grabbed to my talent of a leadership role. If I'm in a room, it's naturally someone will put me in a leadership room to kind of navigate how are we going to accomplish a task. So I felt like when I was in the office, I didn't really get to do what I need to do for myself because I'm always coaching or I'm trying to help my peers on how to, get them going, right? So that was the biggest distraction. I think that by working at home, I had to focus on what I need to accomplish first before I could go out and help others. And that was a very hard struggle in my early career. I've always wanted to help others, right? And I forgot to help myself. So I think it's more of a distraction. I love working from home just because I get to meet people one-on-one, and it's more like, I guess, private, I would say. Sometimes when I do demonstration in home, there's always someone else calling or something fell in the bedroom, like, that all the distraction when I can get more one-on-one. But I love people. I'm the sort of guy, like, once I get to know you, I don't shut up. It's like, that's the kind of me. But I think every entrepreneur is introvert in some sort of way.
I think so. Yeah. I tell a lot of people that was much like me, same way, very quiet, very kept to myself, but just kind of not engaged in a whole lot of things. That's just the way it is. People hear me talking all the time in groups. So, well, but even now, if I'm not talking about business or whatever, I'm usually more quiet in a sense.
Yeah.
But so it's interesting how that works. But you wear quite a bit of business hats in a sense. One thing that I'm struggling, and I think most entrepreneurs do it to a certain extent, is time.
Mm-hmm.
Managing time. There's not enough time in the day. I get it to midnight working and thinking, why do I have to sleep 6 hours? There's got to be a way we can shrink that.
Yeah.
Just keep going. How do you manage your time?
So yes, I do a lot of things, and let me be clear. I do a lot of things is because it's from that hardship, right? One of the things is finance, which is why I got into credit repair, which we'll talk more later on. But I know what it's like to be homeless, how you cannot apply for an apartment, how there's a lot of finance denial, right? And it sucks, like, so I wanted to see how I can fix credit repair. Number two was the student loans. A lot of people don't know that there's 9 different ways you could fix student loans. And I'm blessed to learn all the skills based about credit repair. And another thing is, if I want to be a leader, I wanted to be in a leader where I've been through the situation. Yes, there were times where I was homeless and I couldn't really do anything about it. But there are times I also went back to feeling what it's like to be homeless, just to kind of grasp what it's like to have nothing, you know? Because there's always this one person down there that say, oh, I want to be rich, I want to do, but I just don't have the money to start up, or I just don't have the money to invest in coaching, right? Well, I've been in that situation, right? So what it boils down to is finding what is your main income source that's bringing you to pay your bills, your income. Find what you're passionate about, focus on that. Give it time, like kind of test it out. Like, okay, how many hours do I need to spend to make the income I need to pay my bills, right? If it's 4 hours a day, then that 4 hours a day, you should be doing nothing but focusing on that particular task, right? After that 4 hours, then you kind of knick-knack, push a little bit. Okay, I want to be an investor. Great. What course or who can I reach out to that I can study from? So I put an hour aside. That's already 5 hours of my day. Then I want to spend some time with my wife. So I say, okay, come 8 o'clock onwards, I'm doing nothing but work, right? I'm doing it strictly family time. Whether we go on a date, whether we cook dinner together, whether we watch a movie together, like 8 o'clock, done. Okay. Now, is there an exception to sometimes, like if you have, like for me, I do sales contests for 18 days. Do I have to sacrifice a little bit? Yes, I do that. Right. So if you're passionate about something, you will find a way to make time. If you're not passionate about something, you will find a way to delegate it. Either way is a decision, right? So you
That's well
just got to
said.
find like what makes you happy, right? Why do I show up to coaching every single week? Is because that is my education time. And my wife knows this. Don't bother Ray. That's his education time, right? Then it's implementation. So you don't want to do too much. I say pick the tree that you're passionate about and give 100%. Delegate it. You will know when your time is, and it's also knowing like where your energy is. My energy is a lot in the morning, right? So if I'm working, I work during the day. If I'm want to play and do something fun, I do it in the evening. So that's how you find your balance.
Absolutely. And planning it out. That's what I'm gathering again. And that's what we have to do is you have to plan out. Too many people
Mm-hmm.
still wake up every day winging it. You can wing a lot of things, but you can't wing life. You're not going to get ahead and you're not going to be successful that way. So you have to plan it out. And unfortunately, you will still find from time, many times, that there is not enough time in the day. Go with it. Get better at it. So I definitely want to talk on the credit. That is huge, and I want to
Yeah.
also advertise a little bit for Sunday because a lot of people
Oh
that
yeah.
like I was saying off air, that's something that we all struggle with. That we'll talk on that. But talk to me a little bit more about your knives. I'm used to cutting everything with a butter knife, and I realized that it does not work on steaks. So after I seen your beautiful selection there, tell us about your knives.
So one thing that I love about the company I work in, this is going on my 12th, 13th year, even though I took a break, I did sell part-time, is the quality of knife. I want you to look at an investment, okay? Look at a long-term investment. At the end of the day, we did a study. People use knives 3 to 4 times a day, whether you cook a lot, whether you don't cook. Everyone needs a knife. But what they don't realize, when you spend on knives like a Walmart or Target brand, their products are meant to be replaced over and over again because that's how they make their money. But a lot of people don't realize, especially in the older folks, especially in Southwest Florida, which is a retirement, state-wise, is The older folks, they suffer with arthritis, carpal tunnel, and all that. So there is a way in the handle that we designed to make it ergonomic, to where it fits universal size hand, to where it eliminates those pain pressure. Another thing that we do, a sharp knife is actually better than a dull knife, and it's actually cheaper on your medical insurance. It's funny if you go see a doctor and you say, "Oh, I cut myself," and you say Cutco, and they'll be like, "Okay, I could fix you out real quick." Versus cutting with a dull knife where you got to do like extra stitches in it, and like a lot of
Wow.
infection. So your insurance goes up high.
Oh
Um,
my goodness.
and the steel that we use is a 440A steel is very similar to what doctors use for surgical instruments. So they get it, they understand it. One thing that separates us is we're a private company, so we don't sell in stores, which is why our price is technically lower than our competitors like a Henkel's or Wusthof, which is great brands. Chefs use them. If Cutco didn't exist, go buy one of them. And also, it's dishwasher safe, and we provide a forever and not lifetime guarantee. And this is a misconception. Lifetime is not the lifetime as you owning the product. It's the lifetime of the product itself. So if the product's only 2 or 3 years, then that's all the lifetime you have. It's like a car warranty. You have till 100,000 miles, right?
Mm-hmm.
With our products, it's forever, meaning to say that you get free sharpening, free replacement, and you could pass it down to your kids and to your grandkids. So I had recently, I had a lady might have passed away, bought her knife in 1960, helped pack it up, sent it back to the factory. She got it pretty much as it was brand new, like it was 1960. So now she can use it over and over again. And then for me, being a Cutco sales professional, I do provide free in-home sharpening for all my customers every year or every 2 years as well. So it's like getting an oil change. One thing I would say, if anyone say this knife stays sharp forever, doesn't need sharpening, they are fugazi, they are lying to you, run away from them, because every knife will get dull. We just have a very unique way of actually lasting sharpness for a very longer period of time. Even our serrated edge, we call it a double durable edge. It's a 3 recess blade and the points protect the blade, which is why it doesn't count like a serrated knife, because the points protect the blade versus using it to cut. So that's why Cutco has been #1 for 30 years, cutlery in North America. Matter of fact, we've been featured on History Channel, Modern Marvels. Rachel Ray used a set of our Cutco knives. Tony Robbins, Kobe Bryant, you name it.
Wow.
Even some of the previous presidents use our Cutco knives as well. So it's been around a lot. It's been in movies, a couple of movies you'll see. So what I took it next further with my career is not just work with residential, but now I work with real estate agents, banks, mortgage companies, investors, where we do closing gifts. So what we do is we put your name and logo on there. So I tell this everyone, one way or another, your customer is going to own Cutco from college students, myself, Costco, or from a friend. So why not you? Why not have something that can initiate a conversation for referrals or introduction based, right? So I now work with real estate agents. So I speak at their office meeting, I teach them branding. So this is my branding, that what I do with the Cutco knife. So it lasts longer, brings more business, and I get to learn more about the real estate world as well.
That is interesting. No, yeah, for sure. And real quick on that, what does this cost? One of these nice full sets that I've seen you have.
Yeah, so individual knife range from $67 all the way to $200. Now, a set of knives can range from $400 to about $3,000. But at the same time, you're looking at, wow, $3,000 now, but it's a one and done. On average, if someone uses the knife, a set of knives at home, in 20 years, they'll be spending about $18,000 replacing your knives over and over again. So you got to look at the long-term investment. Is $3,000 today is going to save me a long run, right?
Well, like I said, I'm used to a butter knife one, so that's what we'll think on that one. I'm definitely interested, though. I'll tell you what, I will order me a whole set if Ray Gomes signs it.
You will definitely get my name and logo on there. I'll engrave it for you. I
Done.
actually do that for all my clients. You will have my name engraved on there. So
We'll talk more on that. So,
yeah.
all right. So we recently talked about the some financial services that you provide, which you mentioned slightly on some. And like I said, tell me this: on average, how many people have bad credit?
Majority of the population in US, everyone, almost
Wow.
everyone has bad credit. So
Wow. Yeah, no, that's interesting. And I've heard statistics in the past. And like I said, I think we were talking before, off air before we got on here. And I myself struggled with some of this early on years. And like I was saying, I was hoping there was a Ray Gomes back then, but I didn't realize how many people on average have bad credit, and it's something that's a real struggle and growing, from what I understand. So tell us about some of the services here.
Sure, absolutely. So one thing about credit, I wish they were taught in school, because they always say go apply for a credit card. But there's actually certain ways that you need to use your credit card. Like for example, you want to use 30% of whatever the exact amount balance on your credit card. You never want to go above, because that's how you lose points. Another misconception is when you apply for credit, you will lose points. Some can take up to 50 points that you see an impact on your credit, right? And it takes about 30, maybe 120 days before you see your credit actually goes up. So it's not something that you apply now and think in 30 days you get credit. That's a misconception. You will get a hit on your credit. Another thing about credit too is you want to see what kind of percent rate are you getting, right? If you're a student, there's a bunch of student credit card that you can allow with very, very low percent interest rate, right? And you just got to keep paying. So one thing that I advise everyone, do not start with a credit card. Okay, this is something I wish I knew when I was young. There is a thing where you could start with a secure card. What it is like a bank debit card, right? You put a minimum of like 200 of your own money down, and then you pay like $40, $50, pay it off every month. That will start building your credit. Okay, so it's kind of give you that motive. Hey, this is actually my money, not borrow money that can go blow up, right?
Mhm.
And that will actually help you build out, which I would suggest everyone starting with zero credit to start doing that first. Okay. And then you want to only have one or two credit cards. Don't go and get 4, 5, 6 credit cards unless you're like a successful entrepreneur, you know what you're doing. And then another thing that you also want to realize is when you apply for an extra limit on your credit, you want to make sure that you can actually afford it, because you could easily go blow up $1,000 if you have $2,000, extra credit line, like within a second. It's just the human nature is like, I want to go spend money, right? So you got to be very careful. So with our credit, I'm actually under United Credit Education. And the way it works is there are multiple credit repair companies out there. Lexington Law Firm is one of the biggest credit repair company. Matter of fact, here in Florida, if you are applying for home financing or homeowner financing, they will run your credit and then you'll get calls from Lexington Law Firm. I was part of their program for about 6 months. They will start you off at about $150 a month. They say they will get your credit fixed. Well, after 6 months, I didn't get a single thing fixed. So there are some real estate agents who do recommend, and their clients ended up paying over $5,000 in about 2 years span, and their credit has never been fixed.
Wow.
You don't get, the customer service doesn't help you much or anything like that. Then I got involved with United Credit, and what I found out, there's actually more to what than just a credit repair. So the way we do is we pay $89 a month. And what that covers is we dispute all of your credit that does not need to be on file. A lot of people try to do it themselves. It doesn't work because you don't have the authority to actually go there. We actually have an attorney that does the documents for us, that actually signalize, okay, this is an actual attorney that's disputing for us. So the best part about it is you're not paying the high cost of an attorney up front. So if you have like a thing that you've been trying to dispute for a while that shouldn't be on your credit, our attorney would go in, fight the case, and then we'll split the percentage of the winnings. So that way it covers the attorney's fees as well. So you pay nothing upfront. We also have a program where you could monitor your credit. A lot of people doesn't realize this. When you buy a car, they don't necessarily look at your personal credit. They look at a different credit. There's a specific auto credit that tracks your whether you had payments in the past, did you file for bankruptcy, whether you had speeding tickets, whatever. That's a very special credit. So when you go buy a car and they pull your credit, it is you need to ask them, hey, did you put my personal credit? Did you put an auto credit? I want to see the numbers. But with our program, you could see the score index on how, where you are in spending. Even insurance, right? You can see where your insurance credit is. Hiring index, like how likely are you to get hired, right? What's like you could go get 6-7 jobs, but once you put that social security, it actually goes in a platform where they can detect whether to hire you or not to hire you based on how long you lost in the job. Okay, that's how I do my hiring, right? I mean, I see when was the last time. So we get to track all that, and then we also include will and trust. As you know, in the real estate world, with probates and everything, for $89, you get your will and trust. So you get to set up to 2 people under your family to get that will and trust. So we do that. And what I really love the most is that we also created a youth financial literacy, a program that families can actually teach their kids since the age of, I would say, 5 and above, where we teach them the banking system, how to balance a checkbook, and we do all that. And then every year, we also give up to almost $600,000 worth of scholarship to high school seniors and college freshmen. That's why I got involved with the program. I went from with the bankruptcy and everything and the student loans and the hospital bills, I went from a 492 to about 690 right now in about a year. That's another conception I want to say. There's no such thing as getting your credit fixed in 120 days. None. If it
I was
does
about
happen,
to ask
great.
on that because you
No,
see that a lot. Quick repair. So this is not overnight by any means.
no, it's a BS. You got to go with what's on your credit. Sometimes it takes a very, very long time to dispute it. It may take a year, it may take 2 years. Will there be a result? Yes. If you do it yourself, it will take longer, right? But yes, especially bankruptcy, right? It will stay for a long time. So anyone who say fix in 120 days, that's not right. I'll just be honest with you right now. This is from experience, right? So that's the biggest misconception, that it will take time. Okay, you just got to be patient with it. But I like the benefit because, and I share this with all my property management. I share this with my real estate agents too, because instead of paying $89 a month, you can build your own team where you get the program for free. So it's like you're helping others as well. So there's another income that you could supplement with it as well. So, and that's what I do. I have a couple agents under me, so I don't pay for the program. I'm just being honest right now, right? But outside of this program, we have a lot of other a la carte programs, like we have the tele medical health where you pay $25 a month. You can see a doctor anytime you want online, virtually. And what's best about that, if you have a prescription that you need, let's say you're in Florida, you go to Texas, you forgot your medication, you call the doctor up, they will prescribe your medication up to how many days you're staying in that particular city. So you always have your medication. So you don't need to drive back or anything like that. I've used it, very convenient. The one that I love the most about the program is the credit my rent. This is something that I push a lot, especially with my mobile homes owners as well. So if you're paying a mobile home, if you're staying in a lot rent where you're paying lot rent, you can actually report your paying rent on time to Equifax and TransUnion. So you pay like $9.95 a month, which is less than $10, and it will report it to the credit bureau. We can also backtrack it up to 2 years prior to see that you're paying consistency. Benefit of it, builds the credit. When you're ready to apply for that mortgage, it shows that you've been paying on time. So just like when you pay mortgage, yeah, just like when you pay mortgage, they report it. Now credit goes goes
Because you're
on there.
paying it anyway. And if you're paying on time, why not get the credit that goes with it? For those of you listening,
Exactly.
we're going to have Ray on Sunday call as well. We have a Sunday coaching series every Sunday at 8 p.m. Ray is going to come on with us and he's going to talk about a lot of that. I know there's a lot of people that are interested. When I mentioned some of that, caught their attention. And again, there's a lot of people. No shame if you have bad credit. Come on here and learn from Ray. I mean, he can definitely help you out. And I mean, we're better to start. So somebody great that knows what they're doing. Ray, I got a couple more questions for you.
Sure.
But we're definitely looking forward to have you on Sunday. So going back all in all, when you talk about the whole underdog story and everything, again, the struggles we go through, can any and everybody be successful in your eyes?
Here's what I say, and this is what I learned. Okay. Since going through the suicide, I've been given a second chance in life. And this is my message, and this is what I build on, is to help people who are going through that process, leading by example. We are here for a reason. Out of all the millions of sperm that goes in there, we were chosen to be on this earth, right? Which means that we have a gift. Sometimes it takes longer, sometimes it takes sooner to learn that gift. But yes, if you're breathing, if you're listening to this, you have a gift. All you have to do is find the right people that will motivate you to go get what you need. Because everyone here has a problem. You can solve their problems with your gift. Just believe in yourself and find the right people. I have what I call the power of 5. If I'm feeling down, if I'm feeling negative, right? I reach out to my power of 5. I'm like, look, feeling like shit. I don't know if I could do this. What can I do? And then once I meet that 5, I'm ready to go. Execute. What I'm trying to say is that we are humans. We're going to have doubts. Have your power of 5 to get you where you need to be.
That's awesome. And that's why we love Ray here, because he's real. He's giving it to you like it is. So, but last question for you, and congratulations on your recent marriage here. That's awesome. So saw a lot of that, saw the Batmobile, awesome stuff. So Ray, for those of you, I'm sure some of the people here are going to go check out your bio and check out your social media. So, but what is next for you? You've done so much. You're constantly at it. Is there one business out there you're looking to get into?
Yeah, so for me, this year is winning the Silver Cup for Cutco. This is my redemption. This is my solidification of coming back from nothing to someone, and obviously the Hall of Fame. But eventually, my biggest motive is to get a lot in real estate. My goal, I would say my vision, is to own mobile home parks, because I know there's a lot of people who's going to go into maybe foreclosures or something like that. I don't want to see any family live homeless. I want to provide a home where they can restart just like I restarted my life, rebuild their credit, do whatever it takes for them to get their home back again in the future. So in other words, I want to be that person that can offer a second chance to families that are struggling. So I'm definitely learning a lot. I mean, obviously, I learned a lot from you as well and how to get into that. But investing in real estate is definitely where I want to be, and I want to provide jobs. That's really what I want to do. And I love working with kids. So there will be a day, and it's going to happen, where I will open a university where I'm going to teach every young kid the entrepreneur skills that college are not teaching now. They're going to get it from me and the people around me. That is my biggest goal in life.
Growing, succeeding, and giving back. That's the name of our podcast, and that's Ray Gomes. So that is huge, awesome. Ray, I still don't understand what took us so long to have you on here. I'm glad we reached out to each other, connected again, but we will be definitely doing this again. And again, Sunday evening, we'll have you back. So I'm sure we'll talk before then, but how can people connect with you? How can they reach out to you?
Best way to go is Ray Gomes, RayGomes.com. You could schedule a time to speak with me there. Reach out on social media, Facebook. I'm very highly involved in social media. Yeah, glad to help any way I can.
Absolutely. Well, Ray, thank you for coming on here. It has been an honor, sir.
You're welcome.
All right. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.